Guys, I want to tell you about our friends over at Frost Buddy. It is drinkware engineered to keep your beverages exactly how you want them. Whether you're heading out for an adventure or just powering through your day, Frost Buddy's flagship product, the Universal Buddy, replaces the need for multiple can coolers by fitting virtually every 12-ounce and 16-ounce can bottle you drink, sodas and seltzers to coffee and sparkling water, all in a single versatile design. Constructed with high quality double walled stainless steel and thoughtful features like a flexible silicone lid and a tapered shape that fits most cup holders, Frost Buddy keeps drinks cold for 12 hours and hot for up to 6 hours. So you get consistent temperature control, whether it's an iced drink on a hot afternoon or a hot coffee on the drive to work. Built to last, field tested for durability, and backed by a 30-day return policy, Frost Buddy makes everyday moments from tailgates and beach days to backyard cookouts and commutes more enjoyable. Going over and click the link below and use promo code SSS15 to get 15% off of your first purchase when you visit our friends over at frostbuddy.com. And when you use that promo code SSS15. Are you tired of spending upwards of $7 to $8 on coffees that are full of sugar and high in fat? Well, look no further than Chike Nutrition, the brand redefining what coffee can do for your day. Chike Nutrition combines the rich, familiar taste of real coffee with 20 grams of high-quality protein and the energy of 2 shots of espresso, giving you both fuel and function in every scoop. Available in a variety of crave-worthy flavors like mocha, caramel, vanilla, and many more, Chike delivers smooth, cafe-style iced coffee that mixes instantly with water or your favorite milk, with no clunky blender or complicated prep needed. Each serving is designed to be low in sugar, packed with protein, and loaded with real espresso, so that you can get a sustained energy that helps power your morning, workout, or busy afternoon without the crash that comes from sugary coffee drinks. Whether you're looking for better nutrition in your coffee routine or a smarter way to stay energized and full longer, Chike makes it simple. Scoop, shake, sip, and enjoy. If you want to take advantage of the new year and get in the best shape of your life, click the link below and get yourself 10% off of your first order over at ChikeNutrition.com. Boy, have we had a marvelous day today, really the last 2 days, in the world of the SEC. And boy, it is going to be an SEC-heavy day today. Welcome on in, ladies and gentlemen. Here it is, the Southern Sports Scene. I am your host, as always, Lucas Hill. Make sure you all do us a favor. Hit the like and share button down below. Turn on the bell notification. Hit the subscribe button as well. Make sure you turn on that bell notification so that you are notified every time we go live, whether we post a new video or whether we post a new short on the Southern Sports Scene. Also, if you're watching us on X, do me a solid. Just hit the like and hit the retweet button. We want to see every fan of any conference, whether you're a Big 10, whether you're a Big 12, ACC, SEC, G5, whatever it is, we want fans of every conference to be involved in our discussions. Like we mentioned already, guys, every live show brought to you by our good friends at Frostbud. Going over to frostbuddy.com. Use that promo code SSS15 to get 15% off your first purchase. That's code SSS15 to get 15% off your first purchase. Thank you to our friends as well at Chike Nutrition. 20 grams of protein, 1 gram of fat, 1 gram of sugar to get you started on the best journey possible so that you can knock out the rest of 2026. Can you believe it? We're already halfway through the year. And you can get the best start to your health journey complete. All right. A lot to talk about tonight. A lot to really discuss. First of all, before we kind of get into all of this. College Game Day has announced that they will be headed to their 500th road broadcast. And weeks 1 and 2 have been announced. It will be Clemson in LSU in Baton Rouge. I think this is a unique decision for College Game Day to head to LSU. And then next week they'll be at Austin to be for Texas and Ohio State. Still a lot to kind of cover. Still a lot to kind of get into when it comes to that. And I don't have a problem with it at all. I think it's the biggest thing about it is that they want to gain publicity. They want to continue to be in that sort of scenario, and that's what they're going to get with these two matchups. It's going to be really exciting as the season progresses with that one. So I want to start off with, all right. I don't know. There we go. All right. I do apologize, by the way, ahead of time, just if our Wi-Fi does tend to go in and out. Uh-oh. Hold on. Hey, if you guys can hear me and if I'm good, if you're watching us right now, please give me a thumbs up. I'm trying to look at our live feed. We're a little bit blurry, and I wish that that would not be the case. It just is what it is at this point in time, guys. I do apologize for the for how my camera is. I do have some issues with it, but guys, please give me a thumbs up if you're in the chat and see if we're good. So that would be that'd be appreciated. By the way, if you guys want to get involved in the show, click the call-in link in the comments section on both YouTube and Twitter. And let's talk, man. Come join the show. So, again, the big story of the last 24 hours, Lane Kiffin coming out in a Vanity Fair article and saying that top recruits would tell him that they are not interested in coming to Ole Miss while he was running the program at Ole Miss before he went to LSU. This is the quote. He said they would say, "Hey, coach, we really like you, but my grandparents aren't letting me move to Oxford, Mississippi." That doesn't come up when you say Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Parents were sitting here this weekend saying the campus diversity feels so great. It feels like there's no segregation, and we want that for our kids because that is the real world. I'm going to hit on a couple things. First of all, I don't think that there is such thing as segregation. I do think that there is. If let me just say this. If there was segregation when it comes to college football teams, then why is there a high black population, or well, I shouldn't say black population. Why is there a high number of black athletes on the roster then? Riddle me there. Because that's real. And according to this past year, And this was an interesting one. In football, 40% of college football players are black. It's the highest number across all sports. It's a 26% increase, I believe, from the last 2 years. Okay. You're talking about something that's honestly, it's an outdated trend. And to be honest with you, it's kind of bush league for him to come out and say, "Oh, there was segregation. Oh, there was this." Well, then how were you able to get some of the best athletes in the country to commit to Ole Miss? It obviously wasn't because of this thing you say that it was cause of segregation or whatnot, or that it's difficult because of racism. It obviously wasn't difficult for the athletes because they came to play for them at Ole Miss. So, am I saying that there is no such thing as racism still? Oh shoot, it's still common, but at that level, especially where college football is at now, I'm pretty skeptical on that one. I just don't see where Lane was correct on that one, because I do believe that, let's just be real, stupid thing for him to say. And when you talk about a newspaper or a magazine like Vanity Fair, guys, they're gonna fabricate some things. And let's just be real, I think Lane was in on it. If that was the case, then Trinidad Chambliss shouldn't have transferred to Ole Miss. Keywan Lacey shouldn't have transferred to Ole Miss. A lot big-time receivers or big-time players that came to Ole Miss during the Lane Kiffin era should not have even went there. So how does him justifying about how, there was still racism and it was hard to recruit there, how does that make any sense? It doesn't. It just doesn't. Let's just be honest. And then he ended up talking to On3 and talked to Chris Lowe and said that his comments were not calculated. I really apologize if anybody at Ole Miss or in Mississippi was offended by that. There are a lot of questions that were asked on a lot of things. Ole Miss has been wonderful to me and my family. I was asked about the differences in recruiting, and I said a narrative that we battled there from some out-of-state black parents and grandparents was not wanting their kid to move to Mississippi. That's a narrative that coaches have been fighting over forever. It wasn't calculated by bringing it up. Well, how is it racist though? But you're not. Here's what I'm glad that he kind of cleared it up. But why did you say it in the first place? Just saying. I don't think this was ever a narrative. I think it's a stupid narrative that it was put out that, this place used to be racist. You shouldn't go there. No. That's stupid. If that was the case, we wouldn't be seeing 40% of college football players that are black that are playing at the current moment. So let's just be honest. this whole thing was just a freaking disaster for what transpired with Lane in this conversation. It was a really stupid thing that he even brought up. Let's just be honest. The thing about what that narrative that was brought up about, oh, there was racism involved, that's not true. It's just not true. I'm sorry. I have a hard time believing that something like that is still prevalent. Sorry. I just don't see it. You can disagree with me. You're more than welcome to. I just don't see it being something that is influenced in regards to how recruiting is approached. And he keeps saying, oh, it still remains the same when it comes to the South. If that's the case, then the SEC wouldn't have multiple schools in the top 10 when it comes to recruiting. Or have multiple schools in the top 10 when it comes to transfer portal, because they have that racism thing over their heads. So his narrative doesn't make any sense. And it's stupid that he even brought it up. Sorry. Well, I should say I'm not really sorry, because it just doesn't make any sense, guys. That's just me. It just, I don't get it. I don't get it. Kiffin clarified his remark as well. I just hope that it comes across as respectful to Ole Miss. There are some things that I'm saying are factual. They're not shots. I mean, where is the facts in it? Because you have mothers that are coming out and say it. Now, there are some former Ole Miss players that have come out and said, okay, this is what happened this one time, and some dude was yelling the N-word out at me. Okay, that's one thing. I get that. Okay. I'm not denying that doesn't happen. Should we accept it as a norm? No, I'm not saying that either. What I am saying, though, is that this type of thing that Lane brought out was, in my opinion, very fabricated, trying to put a spin on his former employer. And, I mean, you're basically rubbing salt into the wound of what was already a sour breakup at the end of the day. That's my opinion. You are more than welcome to have different opinions of what you believe. That's just what I've looked at. So let me know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments, and kind of going to end it off on there. Ahmad Hardy was released from the hospital earlier this afternoon after being shot in the leg early on Sunday morning. So he was shot whenever he was at a concert in Laurel, Mississippi. The police sergeant there was McCone Davis. He told the Laurel Ledger or Leader Call that at least 2 people were injured and 3 people of interest were in custody. There had been a scheduled concert there of rappers, or maybe a couple of different rappers. It drew a large crowd, and the gunshots rang out at the end. All right. I want to kind of hit on this for a reason. Guys, make sure you watch who your friends were, because that's the 3 people of interest were guys that were people that he grew up playing ball with, and guys that were former teammates of his whenever he was in high school. So I'm glad that he's doing a lot better. He was from Monticello, Mississippi, went to Lawrence County. So these are guys that played at Lawrence County with him. So obviously this is obviously a pretty big deal. You hope that he's fine. I'm assuming that he'll just continue to get better from here, which is good, which is really, really good. And the thing about this is that when you have a guy that is in a situation like this, that hangs around people, I mean, you got to watch your friends closely. That's the ultimate thing that you got to take away from this. So, should get better. We'll see how this affects him. I mean, you're talking about a guy that was an All-American running back this past year. So this is good that he's in stable condition now. Glad that he got released. Hopefully, he attacks rehab with a vengeance, man. He's a good player. He's going to be really, really fun to watch. So we'll see. I also did, on the Lane Kiffin note, coaches are taking shots at him. Would you believe it? So Steve Sarkisian are told USA Today that all you have to take is basket weaving and you can get an Ole Miss degree. Which I think is funny. He told the USA Today this: at Texas, we will only take 50% of a player's academic credit hours. You may be a semester from graduating, but you're going all the way back to 50% if you play here and want a degree. But at Ole Miss, they can take you. All you have to take is basket weaving, and you can get an Ole Miss degree. And I found that funny. By the way, I will be very, very interested for a couple weeks from now because the spring meetings will be held in Miramar Beach from May 26th to the 28th. So this would be an interesting conversation between multiple coaches. So it's going to be intriguing to say the least. So Sark made a joke about it. John Summerall made a joke about it. He said, grateful to coach at a top 10 public university that also offers advanced basket weaving, which I think was funny. So they've taken the whole basket weaving thing and they've pretty much turned this into a joke. And I do believe that it's kind of interesting that Sark made a comment to it. But honestly, I don't really think there was a whole need for it. I think that this is about to be water under the bridge in just a few days from here now, is what I hope. Obviously, anything is possible, and anything is going to, over the next few weeks, is bound to get some attention. But again, we just don't know just yet. So we'll see what happens at spring meetings. It's going to be a little bit fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. Let's talk about South Carolina this year. And why do I bring up South Carolina? Because I think we are stupidly sleeping on what South Carolina is about to do this year. And I look at what this roster is going to look like and what they have done over the past, several years? You look at what they've done over the course of the last 2 to 3 years of the Shane Beamer era. And I know what you're going to say. They're coming off of a 4-8 season, and they really shouldn't have a whole lot. I would agree with you. I do think the talent is there this year. I think with a coordinator like Kendall Briles coming into Como, I think the chances of them exceeding expectations this year goes up tenfold. I really do. I like Briles' offense. I think it fits in well with what Lenoris wants to do with his legs. Lenore Sellers is going to be the driving force this year. Make no mistake about it. This is it for him. He sure as hell ain't coming back next year. You better believe that. He would be almost stupid to decide to come back after his redshirt junior year. I think last year he got a bad rap because of how he played at the beginning of the year. But I think once he kind of got in the groove and when he's fully healthy and when he has an offensive line that he can work with, guys, he can be one of the most impressive quarterbacks in the SEC. Make no mistake about it. The roster talent is there. And there is a stupid amount of talent from an offensive standpoint. Last year, this was one of the worst offenses in all of college football. Make no mistake about that. This year, with what South Carolina did in the transfer portal and through multiple different entities, guys, this was a really damn good portal from a football standpoint. And we talked about it greatly when you talk about guys like Jacarius Peak, who should be coming back from injury once fall camp gets up and rolling. You talk about what he was able to do a couple years ago with a pretty good system around him with some good running back help. That's what you get with a guy like Christian Clark. What does this defensive line look like? Caleb Herring alongside a guy like Dylan Stewart is going to cause a lot of havoc. And I really believe that those two on the opposite side can be the best 1-2 punch in the SEC. Herring had a breakout year this past year, and I think he's just getting to his ceiling. He's about to exceed the ceiling this year. Make no mistake about that. And another thing is seeing how fluid this offense looks. I think from that standpoint, I think they're much more together. I think there's not as much craziness that happened like this past year. There's not a whole lot of moving pieces around like there was this past season. I think it's getting so much better from that standpoint. And it's one of the biggest things that people need to really focus in on is because of how good that this offense has improved throughout spring. I know Shane has kind of talked about it a good bit. I know the injury bug has kind of hurt them at times. It shouldn't be a thing of concern by the time we get to the fall. You have receivers. You got guys like Nitro Tuggle, who has game-breaking speed. You bring back several other dudes. You still bring back Nick Harbor. Okay? You brought in multiple different guys that can create big plays for you. Jaden Gibson, when he's healthy, is an absolutely incredible and is an incredible athlete. I think a guy like Dane Arnett is somebody that can be a ferocious interior offensive lineman if he gets playing time, which I think he should, in my opinion. He was there when Trinidad Chambliss was an offensive lineman. Remember? Or when Trinidad Chambliss was your quarterback, I should say. But regardless of that, guys, is the fact that this team, it is stupid how incredible they can be this year. It is stupid how much they have improved in a very, very short amount of time. They have the pieces in place. But if you miss out on expectations once again, I think Shane Beamer is done. Sorry. I think that this program has so much more to offer. And I think with the amount of talent that is around them, it should not be wasted on mediocre seasons. And fans have expressed that to me. But realistically, guys, when you keep your expectations low, you got to understand the history of South Carolina. I mean, every now and then you'll get a great season, 9, 10 wins a year. Sure, the bar, but you got to understand as well, the bar has been raised since Steve Spurrier left. You've brought the bar back up to where you can be a college football playoff contender, where you should be. You have all this talent around you. I think you're going to be teeter-tottering the edge of the top 25 come preseason. I don't think you'll be ranked, but I think if you take care of business within the first few weeks of the season, you will be a top 25 team. But right now, guys, I think if you're South Carolina, you have got to find consistency, starting with both sides of the line of scrimmage. Because there were times where they both got pushed around. I thought South Carolina's run defense was excellent throughout the season. Thought they were one of the best in the SEC. There was a lot of times where they would give up some big plays because of terrible tackling, because of just horrible management down the stretch of a game, where I would see moments where guys would be out of place, where Clayton White would just call a very weird play, whether it be a double go on third down where we're sending 2 blitz and backers, but we can't get any penetration. I don't know if you're going to see that, but I'll tell you what. I think defense is going to still be one of the – it should still considerably be a top 5 defense in the SEC. The offense always has the question marks. Are we sleeping on them? Yes. Are they going to exceed expectations? I would not be surprised if they do. But what do they look like on the record? To be honest, if they end up finishing 6-6, I would not be surprised. I know that there's been moments where people have said that. But is getting the bowl eligibility going to save Shane Beamer's job? I think it will. Obviously, Jeremiah Donati has a lot of things that he's got to get addressed as soon as possible when it comes to that side of the field, or when it comes to athletics. He's already got to hire a new baseball coach. We'll see what happens with basketball. Football is really the driving factor, so they really have to succeed. And they got to do so in a hurry, man. They don't have a choice. They've got to be good. They have to be. So what do you think that South Carolina ends up? I'll be honest with you, and I'll go game by game right now. I think you're good the first 3 games of the season. I think you take care of business at that point. Mississippi State should not be any trouble for you. I'll be honest with you. Going to Alabama, early game that's going to define the season. What does this team look like when you go play at Bama? I don't know. There's a high probability they end September at 3-1. They'll get to 4-1 when they play Florida. Tennessee is going to be a rivalry, man. I firmly believe that this South Carolina-Tennessee game is now officially a rivalry. I really do. I think realistically, ceiling for South Carolina this year, 8-4, 9-3. The floor is 3-9 or 4-8 again. Take care of business. Find your identity on the defensive side of the ball. And find a way to get Lenore Sellers back to what he was in 2024. And if not, you get him back to where he was in the second half of that season. Lenore's was playing his best ball when he was just being himself. And it felt like last year he wasn't able to do that because you have an offensive coordinator that really doesn't have an understanding of what to kind of release from him. And number two, you have a guy that just that had an offensive line that was awful. Awful. Do I think Lenore's is a bad quarterback? No. But I do believe that there were some moments where he panicked, that he lost so much trust in his offensive line to give him the protection that he needs, that he panics and gives up on a play. I saw that a lot last year. Gamecock fans disagreed with me on this. Go watch the film. Go watch a couple games from last year. Then come back to me. I know what I saw. I'm not stupid. There were plays when Lenore's would give up, when he really, really didn't need to. Other times, he would try to play hero ball. So it was that sort of inconsistency that drove me to so much frustration. Guys, Lenore Sellers is a hell of a quarterback. But he has to be surrounded with the right personnel, and he's got to be surrounded with a good coordinator. He hasn't had that yet. Hopefully he finds it this year with Kendall Briles. Guys, this has been episode 38 of the Southern Sports Scene. Make sure you all do us a favor. Hit the like and share button down below. Make sure you, while you're down there, hit that subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we go live, post a new video, or post a new short here on the Southern Sports Scene. As always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys on Friday. Stay blessed and don't stress. Y'all have a great rest of the week, and we'll see you soon.